I haven't talked to my Seminole comrades in a while. Have you heard anything from the native communities near the Everglades commenting on this so-called Alligator Alcatraz?
Yeah, that was
yeah, they've been very active, actually. One of my friends from the area went out to their protest. I think it was on the 3rd or 4th. And they had the whole community out there. They actually, the indigenous communities took control kind of the narrative in that area and the protest. They wanted to be very peaceful. There are ancestral tribal lands all over that place. One of the things I did working for and with Louisiana was identifying from satellite data unmarked or previously unmapped Native American mass burial graves, and there are several in this area. So they focused more on that kind of kinship with the environment and that kind of syncing with nature than they did a lot of the other hyperbole, because they wanted to be very clear about what their intent was. And they're not mistaken. There is no, according to any of the drone or satellite imagery that I've seen, even semi-permanent septic system at this location. So there are no like physical structures. It's trailers and tents. And these people who are being kept in these tents, which are aluminum steel, which I'll get into that in a second. But they have barely enough space to get out of the bunk and then walk to the exit. That's it. And they're just beds. So they're pretty much just sitting or sleeping on the bed all day, every day. Lights are kept on 24/7. It's 100 and something degrees out there on an airstrip, and the things that are probably more likely to kill you out there are a giant bug or a mosquito-borne virus or COVID or influenza running rampant through this area, because we know they're not going to bother vaccinating people unless they're rich, which is how Florida goes. But yeah, I watched the interview with Kevin Guthrie, who is now the current head of Florida Department of Emergency Management. I used to work with him, and I was just floored when he said in an interview that these were level 3 wind graded, these tents. A level 3 wind grade is 110 miles per hour. Your standard trailer, even if it's grounded, cannot withstand 110 miles per hour. Right. Literally, if it's a category 2 storm and you live within 20 miles of the coast, we're saying evacuate your trailer. And these aren't even trailers that are grounded and kind of structured into the ground like the nicer ones that you see. These are temp trailers that are meant to be pulled behind a truck. And so the idea that any of this could withstand anything beyond a severe thunderstorm is just flatly false. I mean, at 30 miles.
Just blatant lies.
And I was surprised to see Kevin say that, because then he mentioned, these are aluminum poling. They have the structure of as aluminum. I'm like, aluminum is barely above plastic. Like if you had said steel or iron or something else, something heavier, that would have been more substantial. But the fact that you just said it's aluminum as if that meant it's a good thing, I was like, that's like the easiest material to bend, warp, mutilate, blow away. Like that is the worst of all the things. Aside from, I guess we're supposed to be grateful it's not PVC pipe, which was the implication there. And I was like, I couldn't believe Kevin would say that, but I know he's probably going on every day.
Real quick, the other video, is it the Texas situation? It was the Mexicans that went out to Texas to help, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because I saw you commenting, Rebecca, on I think on TikTok about what's going on in Texas. I haven't really gotten into the details, but I know that Claudia Sheinbaum,
I'm gonna play one silent for y'all while y'all talk. I have
the Mexican president. Yeah, you can play it silent. She sent a group of Mexican nationals to help out with what's going on over there. If you wanted to comment on what's really going on there.
Yeah, so I kind of put like a way longer than usual explainer on my TikTok on YouTube. I think it's actually like 6 minutes, which is a pretty long format for TikTok, because of all the blaming and the conspiracy theories and the wild accusations about who was in fault and why. I like to first dispel the notion that the National Weather Service was at any way at fault here, because they issued the proper warnings at the proper times as they're supposed to do. That doesn't mean that there haven't been instances where cuts to the National Weather Service have compromised safety. They did at the Jackson, Kentucky office earlier this year in May, when there was an overnight tornado and they had no overnight meteorologists, and the warnings were delayed until after the tornado had already gone through the first small town. But those were poor people in Kentucky, so apparently nobody cares. That did cause lives. This situation was not that. All of the warnings were issued as they should have been with plenty of time. You know, if we're talking about the camp situation, every other camp on that river evacuated